The Debonair Club. It's fun and easy to build your wardrobe with our custom clothing service. There's no event that you can't own with a custom suit. Our top priority is to see your confident smile. The Debonair Club. Take the time to dress better.
Welcome to Different Thought, where beards smell like sandalwood.
Man, what the hell? Sandalwood?
You know what it is.
That sounds like some, picking cotton slavery. Like, that ain't ballin', dog.
That's it.
That ain't ballin'.
Stop. Cue the music.
That ain't ballin'. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Different Thought Podcast, where we examine the culture. I am your host, Mike Hayes. This is my co-host,
the artist formerly known as Justin.
Okay. All right. You know, you were going somewhere with these names, but now I don't know where the hell you're going.
Just the artist, man.
All right, man. That's
just the artist.
What's up. The artist, bro.
Yeah.
The symbol.
That's right.
All right.
Don't worry about it.
You got your purple shirt on today. So you the symbol. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get right into it, man. Our straight like that. I'll kick it off with our straight like that. I'm going to go ahead and say this. You know, I got a lot of flack from the Drake stans in the world.
Drake fan?
Stans.
Wait, Drake's, what is that?
Stans like with Eminem. The Drake stans, bro. Like, you know. So, I literally today listened to a bunch of albums, and here's my ranking. The top 3 albums that just came out here recently. We just got some new music. Mine would be King's Disease 2 by Nas, Donda by Kanye, and then Certified Lover Boy. Those are my top 3. And honestly, Drake just getting in the 3 because it's Drake. And I don't want no more stands coming for me. But it's a typical Drake album, bro. If you're going to tell me that he just did something
you said it before. I mean, he's great at being average. Everybody can sing with it.
He found his niche, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kyle will make a clip out of that with the ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way, dog.
Ain't no way. All right, symbol. The artist.
The artist.
What's your straight like that?
Hey, man. So these celebrities out here, man, like, I just want to make sure, I just hope people have all the facts before they like make statements on Twitter or whatever, proclamations about things, especially medical things or scientific things. Just please, just make sure you got all the facts, because you're going to make yourself look real foolish if you're wrong. Like, and then you get pimped now too. Like, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like she get pimped all the way by it's insane. So just be careful what you put out there into the atmosphere and make sure you know all the facts, because
I think it's gonna help her credibility, but that's another topic.
It could. Have
you seen that? Have you watched that damn Michael Chi yet?
We talking about credibility or clout?
Clout.
Okay.
Right.
I was like, credibility. I'm not going to be going to Nicki Minaj for medical advice anytime soon. That's all I'm saying.
Side note, go. I implore everyone to go watch that damn Michael Chi. It's on HBO Max. He talks about this. He was like, you know, as black people, we give more people clout, the more skeptical we are. And there's a whole skit on the vaccine. It's pretty hilarious. And it falls right along with this. And that was made like months ago.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense though.
Yeah. All right. Keeping this thing going. Take a shot for you. Symbol. The artist, I'll let you kick that one off.
I got 2 shots. Taking 2 shots. I'm drinking some Bacardi here. Some Bacardi rum. It's very delicious, actually. Courtesy of Brother Michael Hayes here.
Shout out to my father-in-law who gave me that for my birthday.
Shout out to my father. First shot. Thank you, Uncle Jimmy's, for making my beard glisten and smell like sandalwood. Why you got jokes?
Sandalwood.
Dog, you know what it... Look, I'm telling you.
Sandalwood. That just sounds like... Man, I've been out here working all day in these fields.
Nah, dude. You gonna be surprised at how many things you smell like that.
I
you
don't
just didn't
doubt
know what it
it.
is.
I just said, like... I'm probably gonna be like, oh, that's what that's called?
Yeah.
They need to change the name.
Look,
Sandalwood,
get out of here.
Bro. That sounds like Jay-Z and flip-flops, dog. Jay-Z and some tongue sandals, bro.
Like that's what he would call it. Yeah. Kick it out in my sandalwood. And then the second shot is to my mom. Just then we'll leave it at that.
I heard that. So I am drinking Terramana, The Rock. The Rock holler at us. We looking for a sponsorship. We about to get into, we closing out season 2. So season 3 be starting soon. Terramana is what I'm drinking today. Terramana tequila.
Rock, do you smell what we cooking?
Yeah, we cooking over here, man. Go ahead. But my shot, I got 3 shots today. So first of all, I'm gonna start off on a happy note. When this episode airs, it'll be close to my sister Mia Beasley, her birthday. So I want to shout out her. Happy birthday, sis. Love you. And then my next 2 shots are kind of sad, but I want to shout out my aunt Minnie, Minnie Darden Wheeler. She died over Labor Day weekend. So I just want to say rest in peace to her. And then I also want to shout out Michael Williams, the extraordinary actor. I fell in love with Michael Williams on I Think I Love My Wife. A lot of people talk about him in The Wire, but for me, the character that he was in I Think I Love My Wife, when he was the boyfriend, the crazy boyfriend that was mad to see Chris Rock character, and I thought that was hilarious. I also loved him in Lovecraft Country, so
yeah,
I think he was an extraordinary actor. So rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace, auntie. All right, so today's topic or discussion is I titled it "Loving the Come Up Different," with the subtitle provided by our main man Cal with love-hate relationship, and I kind of want to talk about how we support our own. I would say that shout out to Kyle, by the way, on coming up with this topic. I would say he's the producer of this show.
He's the producer of every show.
Well, he is. He's the producer of the content of this show.
Yeah.
I would say, we love to root for the underdog until they're no longer the underdog. So, with that being said, let's start off with this discussion. I titled this part of it is I'm rooting for anybody. Everyone is black. So, Justin, who some people that you are, excuse me, not Justin, the artist, who are some actors, politicians, anyone that you are kind of rooting for that's kind of not on the main stage just yet or slowly getting into the main stage? Who's some people like that?
I couldn't really think of anybody that I think I look at more of it as under the radar folks, not necessarily new people, but because of the way they move. And so my first one is Shameik Moore. And it's like this dude has been in everything, kind of like Leon, but you just didn't know he was in it. It's like Leon, who is Leon? Oh, that's David Ruffin. So
ain't nobody come to you, Otis.
But yeah, he's in Dope. He was the voice of Spider-Man in Into the Multiverse. He was, he's been in a lot of stuff, and
Wu-Tang.
And he was in the Get Down, and so he's been in played a lot of he's been the lead character in a lot of things, but just in kind of smaller films, I guess. I don't know, but I like him. He's really talented. I like his style. So, and just the way he can seem to move in and out of this celebrity lifestyle without even getting noticed, but still get these roles and things. So I like him because it's just his swag. And then
he's very versatile.
And he's very versatile. Dude is real smooth.
By the way, if you haven't watched, I forget the actual name, but it's on Hulu. And it's a series on he's on the rise of the Wu-Tang Clan. He plays Rakim.
Oh, he does? Okay.
Yeah, he plays the chef. Pretty dope.
Okay.
And he also did an interview on Breakfast Club where they were talking about how when he was auditioning, how Rakim was like, I don't know, son. And he was just people just think that I'm just so proper. And he was just and he just flipped it. And I was like, that man working. So he's a dope actor. I like him too.
And then my next guy is Donald Glover. I mean, Donald Glover, he's been around for a minute, but he's just another one that manages to somehow stay under the radar, even though he's produced and starred in Atlanta, and I think he did a lot of production work on a Community. Has been in that forever, and of course has released several albums and all that stuff, but you don't really ever hear anything about Donald Glover until he just does something, and it's like, oh, that's hype, and then it just goes away, and it's like,
this is America.
Yeah, and it's like, where's Donald Glover at? And then he'll just show up again. So I always appreciated him and his versatility in the way he moves too.
Speaking of Donald Glover, did you see the tweet where someone had tweeted that Kanye had took Donald Glover's idea of his album art for Donda, his latest album. So Donald Glover, or Childish Gambino, last album cover was a white, just a pure white.
Okay.
Displays. Whereas Donda is pure black, and so they were trying to say like Kanye copied from Donald, and Donald actually joined in the trolling, and it was kind of funny.
Oh,
but you had to go look it up. That was cool. So I only have one, man. There's this guy that's been catching my eye a lot. Jonathan Majors. He was in the Five Bloods. He is entering into the Marvelverse. If you've been watching Marvel Universe, if you've been watching Loki, he's the.
I watched Loki. I haven't gotten to What If yet. I've made it to episode and a half of What If.
Yeah, What If is dope. By the way,
I can tell.
It's a couple of episodes. It's like, but anyways, he's also was in Lovecraft Country, which hands down one of my favorite.
Is he the dude at the end of Loki?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that dude too. I didn't know what his name was. Yeah.
He to me, he reminds me of man, I can't. What was the dude's name that was in The Diary of a Mad Black Woman? The bald-headed dude, the husband that did her so wrong.
Oh yeah,
he reminds me of him. Like, I thought they were brothers for a while.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I think he's a very up and coming. Like,
oh yeah, he's got skills.
Him and Denzel's son, I think, are on their way up.
Is it John David Washington?
Yeah, I guess those would be my two. So with keeping the conversation going, I kind of want to talk about. I entitled this next segment kind of like at what cost. So in your opinion, the artist, is there a point of success in which we as a culture stop supporting our own? An example would be Kevin Hart. So we supported him when he was up and coming and loved him, but when he started to be being seen everywhere and overexposed, we started to say he wasn't that funny. I personally didn't think Kevin Hart was like the level of funny that everyone said he was. I mean, I thought he was funny, but to me, Cat Williams was way, because they came around at the same time. Cat Williams just went way off the deep end, but I thought he was a little bit funnier. But
I think it depends. Well, I want to get back to the point. I think it depends on like what type of funny you are. Like Cat Williams, I think in terms of like black culture, because like black culture, white culture, whatever, they all kind of have like a common ground somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. I think Cat Williams is further off to the, I guess if black is on the left, he's further off to the left, and Kevin Hart was closer to the middle. I think in his comedic style, because he's like real slapstick and just being loud and stuff like that more people can relate to. Where Cat Williams talking about like pimps and players a lot, and so Kevin Hart just got, once he became more marketable, it was hard. It would have been hard to market Cat Williams to a broader audience.
Well, I think
because of some of his topics.
I think like in the terms of the context of the question, I think with Kevin, people, I go back to the statement I made about Drake, about him being average, and people gave me so much crap about it. And my thing is like, I'm not saying, people don't understand. Sometimes,
I'm not saying it's bad.
Sometimes average is actually a talent, because if you can relate to everybody, no one ever gets tired of you.
Nobody gets tired of you. Everybody can't be mad at you at once.
Yeah. Like, so it's like, oh, okay, it's a Drake album. Yeah. All right. That ain't a bad thing. Yeah. Like, it's okay to be. I mean, when you are a genius or a you are very talented and things. You have people like Kanye, where people like, you done went way too far, because they are always thinking in this other stratosphere that everybody else is not thinking in.
Yeah.
Where Drake is like, yeah, man.
Yeah. And it takes energy to try to catch up to that.
And I guess on the flip side of that, on the flip side of that, we kind of didn't really answer the question. Like,
I'm about to answer.
All right, well, answer the
I'm
question.
about to answer. I was waiting on you.
Ask the question, then, artist.
Well, I'm an artist. Sensitive. No, I think in terms of a point of success, when we stop supporting our own, it always comes back to what is our own. And to use Cat Williams and Kevin Hart as an example, even within Black culture, you're going to have people that relate more to Kevin versus relate more to Cat. And it's just how many relate more one way or the other. So for those two, to me, I can see how you would easily you could fall off on both of them, especially if one does or says something that's a little bit suspect. And to me, I think it always goes back to history in terms of why we stop supporting, or even let's go to sports. It's like sports. Everybody loves the Warriors or everybody loves the Patriots. And then it gets to some point where
not everyone.
You're right. Let me go with the Warriors because I know where this Patriots going.
Not everyone.
But it's like everybody wants to get on the bandwagon, and it's like, yeah, they're great until they win too much, and then all of a sudden the dynasty things start happening. It's like, man, I just hope they lose. Just like Alabama, everybody's on the Alabama bandwagon because they win too much, and then but it's like here in the South, it's like Alabama fans gonna be Alabama fans. If you're an Alabama fan, you die hard with them, and you were with them in the 90s when they were terrible. Hey man, I'm proud. I'm happy for you.
I tell all the Alabama fans, I can't wait.
But all these people,
go ahead and win y'all too. So Saban can retire, have the records, so y'all can go back to the Alabama I remember.
You're right. So I mean, it's like, and so all those fans, and man, that's what's up. And everybody gonna have their time to shine. But it's just all these people that jump on the bandwagon. So I think it's the same thing in any culture with any type of actor, actress, whatever, anybody in celebrity status. Everybody's good with it until you start winning too much. I don't know if it's a human nature thing or if it's a Black thing. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like that's always the case.
I think it's somewhat of a Black thing, because on the flip side, this is another question. Is there a point in which we don't support until they have struggles? And I say yes, because I think it goes back to a point you made in some episodes back, and it continue to make, is that what is the Black culture? It's the struggle. It's not. It's really not about the success. It's about the struggle. It's about like, OJ literally didn't want nothing to do with Black people. There's songs about it. I'm not Black, I'm OJ. Okay. And then he gets set up for murder, and it's like, oh, OJ didn't do it, let's support OJ. And meanwhile, people don't realize, it comes out later that when he was being arrested, he was like, what's all these N-words doing in my neighborhood? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think and then you, like, Tiger, it's another example. Tiger was out here saying he wasn't Black. And then when all that stuff happened, he was like, man, we're going to root for Tiger. Like, I think it's the struggle. The piece of it is the struggle. It's like, I think that's why you have a lot of people that still like Cat Williams, because they know he's going through
the struggle. Well, it's the assumed shared struggle of being Black. It's the assumed shared struggle. So that's what it comes down to. And I mean, it's easy to assume. And I think it is a fantastic thing, is that shared brotherhood and commonality that exists. I believe in it. I think it's wonderful. I think we just shouldn't put so much stock in it. It's because some people like literally their lives rise and fall on celebrities' success or failure. And that's the thing that I struggle with. And then you tie the Black piece to it as a Black person. Yeah, we're going to root for everybody Black and hope they're successful. I look at it just purely in those terms, like, hey man, I'm going to assume that you probably had to deal with the same type of hurdles that I had to deal with, maybe not to the extent that I had to, maybe worse. But I'm hoping you're successful. Now, if you fail, I'm not going to go down with you.
Man, you all right?
You know, and if there's anything I can do to help you, bro, like I'm gonna do that. But I'm just saying, like, some of these folks, man, they fall off the wagon with everybody. It's like, dog, y'all gotta let this go, man. Like, at some point, we have to. People gonna be people, and they are individuals, and they're gonna make their own individual decisions.
I think sometimes we put too much. You're right. We do put too much stock in celebrities and their successes, and not enough into understanding that they're humans just like us.
Yeah.
And so when they make mistakes, we want to ridicule them or whatever it is, instead of just saying, you know, like, hey man, that wasn't cool. Like,
yeah.
But
or the trolling.
Yeah,
the trolling cancel culture. That's crazy.
I do think that there's something to be said with the whole struggle, or better yet, it's I think Kyle mentioned this in prepping for this episode, was talking about like Frankenstein. He brought up the metaphor of Frankenstein. It's like we created.
Yeah,
like
it's definitely a monster that we create.
He used the example of Lil Nas X. When Lil Nas X came out, everybody was for it, right? Yep. Old Town Road, everybody was like, okay.
This mashup,
and matter of
country hip hop song, everybody loved that.
And matter of fact, if people were really jumping to his defenses because they were country music was trying to say that wasn't a country song.
Yeah.
And not trying to give him credit for creating a country song and breaking records. And so people were coming to his defenses, and that's how he got that huge following, because people were saying, "Oh, because he's black, he can't make country music."
Right.
And then
it's like the reality is,
and then Lil Nas X is the situation, and now you got Lil Nas X, like you got this like
dude making devil shoes, and all that stuff,
and
so it's like
taking pictures with like he pregnant, like come on, bro, it's like y'all created this person,
like this is,
but in the same breath, you created that monster like a Frankenstein, but we also created. This is the deeper part of it. You also created the person that comes out and makes devil shoes, because he even talks about it, is that the reason he's like that now, the way he is now, is because as a child, when he was struggling with his sexuality, people shunned him.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that he's successful, after coming out and saying, "Hey, I'm a gay black man," and getting praise for it, he was like, "Oh, I'm about to push the envelope all the way." And so it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's like, if you got somebody that is, you got to watch these people from their beginnings, because if you're not careful with someone, you could, like, Tupac said it best, thug life. I'm not going to give the full meaning, but the hate you give little infants, F's everywhere when I just did it. But it's the same.
I mean, I think it's just funny. So that goes back to what I was saying. It's like, to carte blanche just say I'm going to support and root for everyone because they look like me is a dangerous thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't take the time to just look into it a little bit deeper, then those things take energy. You might find yourself supporting somebody who makes devil shoes. And so, I mean, and then you're going to be like, looking like Nicki Minaj, putting something out there. It's just like, maybe I should have thought about that just a little bit longer.
It's funny as you say that.
It all works together. It all flows together.
It's funny as you say that, because, like, for me, Kanye is that example for me. It's like, for me.
Yeah, I mean,
because I am everybody knows this, I'm a big Kanye fan.
No, Mike, you like Kanye?
Yeah, let's not act like I'm not. Okay, yes, Mike likes Kanye. Yes, I still rock with him. Okay,
I mean,
I know he a little crazy, but yes,
he like Alabama in the 90s.
But
he gonna get his time back.
Anyways, but for me, given my brand of thinking, I have never been surprised with it, because I actually took the energy to kind of look into his story before I was like, all right. When I heard The Wire, I was like, this is dope.
Yeah.
And then when I found out he made Blueprint, basically made Blueprint, the whole album for Jay-Z, but made it for Ghostface Killer, I was like, because quiet as kept, Ghostface Killer and Method Man are two of my favorite rappers. of all time. And so when I heard that, I was like, okay, now I need to dig more into this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I started learning like how he, was very intelligent, went to college. Mom was very intelligent.
So you put yourself in a position. You're like, I'm gonna accept the good and the bad.
Yeah,
I like this dude because it's in context.
Yeah, but I also was like, there's nothing he can do that can surprise me because
you knew the good and the bad.
Yeah, because I was like, oh yeah, this dude, and then listening to like people like Dave Chappelle talk about him when he was like a nobody, and like when he was like, what is the story, Dave Chappelle? The story behind I want to say it's Two Cities. I can't remember. It's a song with two in it, and it's him and Mos Def and Talib Kweli, I believe. And the song actually originated backstage at a Dave Chappelle stand-up show, in which they were doing a cipher basically, and he basically did this. It's on College Dropout. And he basically gave the verse that is on College Dropout. It's
Man, I know what this is.
Dead or Alive. I can't think. I don't know why I went blank. But anyway, in that, Dave Chappelle was like, "Yeah, man, this man was like, we were sitting there rapping and stuff, and he was just a nobody at that time. And somebody called him, and he was like, what? For lack of better words, what, David? What are you doing?" And the dude was talking to him. He was like, "No, I'm not doing it because I'm dope." And I was like, "Okay, so this is who this person is." Like. So I was never surprised when that man was like, "Yeah, I'm the new Michelangelo," or whatever he was saying he was. And I'm like, okay,
he's going. He's been that. He's gonna be that.
He been this. And people are like, "Oh, I can't believe." I'm like, "Well, did you do your research, man?" And I say all that to say this: like, the biggest thing about this show is like we want to challenge people to think. Do your own thinking. Do your own research. Look into these people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't just fall behind somebody because the cool thing to do.
Yeah,
Understand what they are, and
then I guess I'm gonna ask this question. You know how they got the shirt? It says "rooting for everybody black," or that saying "rooting for everybody black." Would you root for everybody black, and then if that shirt said "at your own detriment?" ? Would you still do the same thing?
I think you're supposed to do it
at your own detriment.
Hold on, let me break down that.
Think about it. Yeah. Because that's what can happen. Yeah. That's my point. Is just because I don't root for anybody unless I believe in what they're doing.
Well, I root for everybody black, but there are tiers to my support.
To your support, you're rooting.
If you, just,
if you gonna break it down like that, yeah. I mean, that's
black and you making devil shoes. I mean, I'm gonna be like. Get that money, dog.
That's a quiet root.
Yeah, it's like
I'm not putting this rooting out in public.
I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like, all right, dog.
All right, you changed the game.
Yeah, that's what's up. Don't tell nobody I said it.
Yeah. But, I think there's tiers to it, bro. I root for anybody that's with the same hue as us because we've been through it. It's just like when you walk into a room. I don't know about you, but for me, when I walk into a room or a club or something. And there's predominantly whites in there, and I see one black face. We had that look like we made it. We're here.
I get it, Mike. I'm just saying when you say it's tiers to it, I mean that's true. I think when I think rooting, it's like all or nothing.
No.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's like I hope for the best, but I ain't telling nobody.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And don't get it twisted. There are times when Kanye, I've been like.
Hey, you locked in now. You can't.
Because I've even done my shot for you has been like, Kanye, anyway, please shut up.
It don't matter. You've already.
I'm like, you're right. Yes, I am. I am a Kanye stan.
Own it.
I will
own it.
Next season we're gonna have shirts for different thought. Different thought. Mike is a Kanye stan. Yep, that's me. Go ahead. I mean, when I went and saw Yeezus, I was like, yeah, there's nothing this man can do that it would be like. Well, there is some things he could do, but
be careful.
Yeah, there's things he could do, but I would go out on a limb and say I'm almost at a Kanye stan level, dog. Like I just think
ain't no almost to it. Just own it, bro.
Kanye, LeBron.
What's the different thought?
Yeah, you're right. Let's move on. Yeah, because I need to stop talking about Kanye, dog. The different thought is this, man. We love to see the rise of of one and of our own, but just as much as we love to see the rise, we love to see the fall of that person as a way to suggest we have control. It's your work ethic that gets you to places, and a person rises to stardom, and whether that level of success looks like, the person doesn't really change by money or fame. Who the person really is magnified. I guess what we're trying to get there is, we apply work ethic, we apply hustle, but then we don't. I think we kind of talked about this. We don't really do our research. We don't really do our own thinking of who this person really is, like understanding, the level of what that person is. And for me, I've been in that situation. In that situation, I just mentioned them earlier. Ghostface Killer. I love Ghostface Killer. And as a kid, when I first heard Triumph and I heard Ghostface Killer's verse, and then it made me want to go look at all the other verses, and I loved him. And then I think I was watching something. He was on something with VH1, some marriage.
Oh boy!
So and
yeah,
I was
on
like,
VH1.
I was like, oh, this man crazy. And I didn't really take the time because as a child, it was Ghostface Killer. Like I liked him. So as an adult, I was like, whoa, you kind of on another level. So I guess, what are your thoughts on that statement there?
I mean, I think we said it earlier. I mean, we put these people in these positions. We put them in these places. For whatever reason, celebrity has always been a thing. It was part of our culture, American culture, and particularly in Black culture, because that's what we've been relegated to do oftentimes, is be entertainers. So celebrity, I think, to us as a culture means more maybe than other cultures. Because
celebrity is like, you made it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think for us, I think the term is used so loosely because in the Black community, you and I could be a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? We made it. Got college degrees. Got real jobs.
Depends on which Black community you're talking about.
I know. But I'm just saying. So it's certain.
But I'm talking about it as a whole. I think that's why it means more to us. In terms of this discussion, we have a love-hate relationship with celebrity for that very reason, because of its past. It is a past that
I just connected.
Yeah, it's a past that's tormented us for centuries, because that's what we've been forced to do. And now it's something that that represents us as a community almost. I mean, but unfortunately, that is also tied to an expectation with us.
It's kind of like survivor remorse, but it's also like this. Have you ever looked at it like this? Sometimes in the Black community, we look at celebrity like Uncle Tom's or House versus Field.
I mean, I think so
because some part of success is, getting acceptance by the other side. And so once you get to that place, and now cause honestly, dog, truly, dog, people have a problem with, like, we keep referring back to Kevin Hart. People have a problem with Kevin Hart because Kevin Hart is accepted by white people. I mean, if you really are honest, when you talk to people that don't like Kevin Hart now, it's usually because, he done got too white. He done got too mainstream. And it's like, why do you have a problem with it?
Well, I mean, it goes back to what I said before. For whatever reason, misery loves company, number one. And then this whole struggle shaming thing that we do, that nobody started hashtagging yet, but I need to start that hashtag struggle shame. Because they're not with us, they against us all of a sudden. Yeah. When it's anything that's produced in this country that runs off of capitalism, that can be capitalized on, is free for everybody to partake in. I know we want to say this is ours, this is our music, and I know at some point in the past it was jungle music, it was entertainment, it was these people moving their hips too much. It was ours, and it was purely ours, and we accepted it as that. And now all of a sudden it's acceptable in the mainstream culture. That's the gift and a curse, because now the people that could only make it in the chitlin circuit make it in the mainstream circuit. and we want to root for them, but in the same time we root for them, we are sitting back waiting on them to make a mistake, to say something that we don't consider black enough, quote unquote black enough.
Yeah, see, I told you they should have been.
We waiting on that moment for no good reason, only just to see them fall so they can come back to where we at, allegedly where we at. When you have plenty of people who are not in the celebrity status, who are engineers, bankers, politicians, lawyers, or whatever, that still make it to that same status, do we come after them the same way?
Yes.
We come after them the same way. We just don't know it.
Yeah.
It's just more of a covert action.
More localized than it is.
So, but the same thing happens. Yeah. So it's just like at some point, and I think it's going to happen naturally. We are in the fortunate space to see our culture literally move forward. Is in our generation. Mm. We get to sit here and watch. We see what our parents went through when everybody was forced to be together. Now that got broken apart, and now we see how it's all going to kind of work itself out as this American culture that's supposed to be this beautiful cosmopolitan eventually coalesces into something different, and it's going to be a madness and a mess, and we get to sit back and watch and be like, well, y'all black people tried to stick with the black people to make them be too black, but then want them to still get money at the same time, and the only way you can do that is if you work with everybody else. So at some point, something got to give.
I mean, I'm a mixed bag on that statement.
You should be. You should be. That's a good place to be.
I feel as if black people work with black people and truly work and give black people the same patience and same privileges that we give other major corporations that are ran by majority white people, I think if we did that with each other, I think that we could make our own money and not have to, as some people would say, sell our souls to be successful. I think that, if me and you work together and we're honest with each other and say, we do work together, but you get what I'm saying, and say, when you piss me off, instead of me saying, I'm done, saying like, hey man, I didn't like that. Like, this is not cool.
I mean, I think there are plenty of people that do that. It comes down to resources. It comes down to who's been exploited and who's got the wealth and who doesn't. And how do you get it? And, unfortunately, it ain't gonna be given to you. Yeah. So it's just the way it is. And so you either play the game or you run the race, but there are, I think we should always continue to support, each other, but also understand that we have to support and understand the concessions that have to be made to get to those positions. And I think that's what I think is, as a culture, if we accepted those things more easily, then everybody would be able to move forward. I think we're holding on to artifacts of the past that aren't going to come about anytime soon. At least not in this country.
I mean, I think you're right. I think that we are holding on to some things and feel like things should be a certain way. But I also think that we also got to be more open-minded.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And that, all of that works together. I think. But because I think I said it before, at least in private maybe, but I was like, look, I was talking to somebody one time and I was like, at the end of the day, if the planet survives for another 1,000 years and the country survives for another 1,000 years, everybody's going to look like Steph Curry anyway, so it doesn't matter.
This is true.
This is also true. It's like there's one black person for every 7 white people in this country. At the end of the day, I mean, it's just, unless you're in Atlanta, everybody else is kind of spread out. That's just what's going to happen. And Atlanta, Georgia may literally become its own country. If things, they could, because they have resources. They have built up resources, and they can. It's like California.
It's 2 cities in the South that I feel like could potentially accomplish that, what you just said, become their own country. That's Atlanta and Memphis. Most beautiful world, most beautiful place in the world.
They're gonna have to figure out how to make their own power, control their borders, and get these resources together.
Memphis people be, I be like, dog, y'all really?
Well, you gotta get these Memphis people to work together.
Man, what?
Now that's what we talking about in terms of working together. That's a challenge. But but that's all I'm saying. It's like, at some point we're gonna keep holding on, we're gonna keep moving forward, and I can have the same discussion with my brother or somebody younger than him, and it's gonna be completely different because they, in a lot of ways, have moved past a lot of the things that hang us up and people older than us up.
I say this, man. I say this a lot when we get into these discussions. I say, we talked about this in Trap or Die Different. If you haven't gone back and listen to that, you need to go to it. When we start to learn to approach each other in love, things will be easier.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Until we do that, we're gonna. Until we do that, different thought is going to be on the air. Cause
like we trying to work to where it doesn't have to be at the end of the day. But yeah, you're right, man. I think you made a good point in terms of, how we can approach each other and create this unnecessary competition. It's like, when I think about like fraternity parties, like in school and stuff, and like just college parties, and seeing how like you had like two groups of people like pitted against each other in anger.
For no reason. I'm in a frat. And I used to be in those altercations, and it was just like, I used to always remember sitting back thinking, well, we about to fight them because what now?
Because of what? But if you think about that, that's literally like the dichotomy of it all. It's like we get into these mindsets of like us versus them when them is actually us, and we actually fighting ourselves and not getting anywhere.
At the end of the day, we all stand for the same things and want the same things.
All trying to just see the brown people be successful.
Well, I think that's why I say, coming out of love, if you come out of love and open minded, you actually understand that there are a lot of similarities that you have with the next person. It's just they have a different viewpoint on certain on certain small
things and how you get there and all that type of stuff. So, telling you, man, next time I get in an altercation with somebody, I'm gonna just hit them with compliments. Somebody try to come be like,
what is that? Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you. I'll be like,
you smell good today.
You smell wonderful, brother. What's that you wearing? Is that sandalwood? That's what I'm gonna hit him with.
Oh Lord, you say that, dog. I'll be like, what? What? Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. All right. Any parting thoughts before we close out with our before you eat?
Man, just be careful who you follow. Be careful who you fall in love with. In terms of this ether of celebrity, I'm holding up my phone. This ether of celebrity and Twitter and all that type of stuff, because it will get you in trouble and it will mess with your psyche and emotional health. It's not good for you. You gotta let some of that stuff go, man.
I totally agree.
That's not for us.
To add to that, I'd say this. I was in church one time and we were talking about marriage. People gonna be like, "Why you bringing up marriage?" But he was talking about marriage. Our pastor, shout out Pastor Tabner Smith at Venue Church. He said, a lot of times we go into this. A lot of people go into marriage thinking, "Oh, you complete me," and "Oh, you do this," and we put a lot of stock into that. And he said, he gave an example. He brought two broken plates out, and he was like, when you shatter a piece of fine china, you can't just go grab another plate and put pieces there. And so what I say all this to say all that to say this is it's okay to have role models and people that you like, and people that you follow, and people that you look for as inspiration. But know yourself first. Yep. Know who you are first, and know who what you stand for first before you go put your all into someone else. Because 9 times out of 10, that person's gonna fail you every time. Yeah,
well, maybe that is really the issue. Is that within Black culture we have a lot of broken people. Yeah. That are trying to find themselves, and I think that may be what it comes down to.
All right, with that, we're gonna go into our Before You Eat segment, and today's Before You Eat is on our brother Ralph Petey Green, Ralph Waldo Green, better known as Petey Green, born on January 23rd in 1931 in Washington, D.C. Green was a pioneer in the African American radio as the host of a popular call-in show in Washington, D.C. in the 60s and 70s. A 2-time Emmy winner who overcame prison and addiction, Green's frank on-air opinions spurred listeners to contribute their own thoughts, gripes, and he sought to admit his own shortcomings as a way to inspire others. He was one of the first personalities created by talk radio, which would become an enduring staple of the urban radio well into the 21st century, and he remained such a compelling figure after his untimely death in 1984 that a 2007 film was made loosely based off of his life story. The name of the movie was Talk to Me, starring Don Cheadle as the sometimes combative personality. I encourage y'all to go see that movie. That is a funny, heartfelt, mind-provoking movie that just really, I just love that movie. Wake up, goddammit! That was a funny line from that movie. But yeah, go check out Brother Petey Green and all that he did. He was very influential in the Civil Rights Act, and when Martin Luther King was assassinated. And as always, we always challenge you to go do your research, go look it up, and find out more about our culture. And as always, challenge you all to think, do, be different. Thank you for listening to Different Thought Podcast.